Hello, this is Elaine with Elaine's Creations, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make this triangle easel card with the In Bloom bundle. So this triangle easel card is made out of an 8.5 by 8.5 piece of cardstock, and it's scored at 4.25 by 4.25. So I'm just going to put it over here so you can see it. This is the In Bloom bundle with the pierced bloom dies. These dies are amazing. All of them have stitching on them, so they make these really cool stitched flower and leaf dies. And then you can layer the flowers on top of each other to create all these different kinds of flowers. And they have these really nice sentiments as well. So I started off with an 8.5 by 8.5. I'm just going to double check my measurements. Yes, 8.5 by 8.5 piece of Seaside Spray scored at 4.25 and 4.25. And I'm just going to fold in both directions, and I'm going to make some score lines on the two corners right here. And I'm going to use my paper trimmer, Stampin' Trimmer, to do that. So I'm going to move the bundle out of the way. And I just like to leave this open and use a bone folder to do this. So I just line up this score line and this score line right here and just score all the way down. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side right here. Make sure those line up. And then those are going to be the two pieces that I fold back. And now I'm going to cut on this bottom score line right here. Use my paper trimmer right here. Paper snips. I'm going to cut right along the score line. And that is what gives me this triangular card right here. And then it can all be folded flat and tucked into a regular A2 invitation size envelope. So we're going to do a bit of stamping for some decoration. So I'm going to pull this little scrap piece of paper here. I'm going to start with some Poppy Parade, and I have two pieces of 4x4 basic white, one of which I have cut diagonally. So I'm going to start with this piece right here. I probably should have stamped it first and then cut it. That probably would have been better. I'm just going to stamp this flower in Poppy Parade just a couple times around the piece right here. And then scoop that aside, and I'll do this piece. I like to start with the largest and largest flower, darkest color first. And then next I will do the So Saffron flower. That's the next largest flower. this one back in here and line it up again. This is why I probably shouldn't have cut it, because it makes just a little bit more fussier to stamp, because I have to keep realigning it. And then I'll do some Pear Pizzazz leaves. And do them in different directions so you get some variety. And do odd numbers. So I have 4, so let's do 5. Whoops, darn. Kind of got some on here, but that's okay. Okay, now let's do some Seaside spray in the little flowers to match our card base color. Got 5 in there. Try and line this up again. What did I get on here? Is this ink? Is this adhesive? I'm going to use my sand eraser to erase it away. That looks better. Didn't leave myself a whole lot of room to stamp the Seaside spray flowers, so I'll try to fit some in here as best I can. Not a whole lot. And then now I'm going to add some centers to the flowers to give them some more dimension. So I have some Poppy Parade for the center of the So Saffron flowers. And the Seaside spray flowers, I have some Poppy Parade too. And then for the Poppy Parade flowers, I have basic gray. I didn't want to use black. I thought black was too dark for this, so I did basic gray. And here we have a very colorful arrangement of flowers and leaves that we can add to our card. Oh, and I need to stamp the circle. So there are several circles. These are the largest stitch circles. So we have 1 stitch circle, and then I have made 2 stitched circles. So how I did this was I had a piece of basic white cardstock that is 6 inches long by 3 1/4 inches long. and I folded it in half. Folded it in half. And then I placed the stitch die, the circle, so that the fold was inside the circle, so that the fold would not get cut, so that I could create this flap. So you'll see that we're going to need this flap to create the easel part right here. So there's a flap back here. So you have a piece of 6 by 3 1/4 cardstock. You fold it in half. You place the stitched circle like this so that the fold is inside the die and so that the fold does not get cut. And then you will have this clam stitched circle. But let us stamp this. Forgot to stamp this while I was stamping the other pieces. So we need a flower. So I did a flower over here. And I should actually stamp the sentiment first so that I can gauge where the other flowers go. So I did happy birthday. You really are the best. And then we can do our little seaside spray flower. And then we can do our Poppy Parade centers. And then I have a little leaf in Pear Pizzazz. All right, so now we can put this card together. So I am going to place the square over here on the right and the 2 triangles here on the top right and left. You could decorate the inside of the triangle as well if you wanted to. All right, and so this is the card base. It's going to fold like this, and then these 2 are going to fold out like this. And you can just crease these so that it folds better. So crease those with your bone folder, and that will fold together better, hopefully. Doesn't want to stay together. Just put your ink pad there. Just kidding. So now you're going to fold this in half. And this is going to be what you adhere your top part to so that it can be your easel. Just as simple as that. And then for this part right here, I decided to go ahead and put a flower there. So I cut a flower out of the pierced bloom dies. So let me scoot this down a little bit. So I've got all the pieces of the flower here. So I just used a glue dot to adhere the flower together. I offset the first two flowers and then added the leaves. And then I used a dimensional to pop up the flower. You want to use a dimensional on easel cards so that they will stop the easel part, hold up the easel part. So just dimensional right there in the middle. And then place it here towards the bottom. And then that is what is going to hold up your easel like that. So now we can put some adhesive on this circle. We can place this down right here. And this is our triangle easel card that can be folded up and placed in an invitation sized envelope like that. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can check out all my other video tutorials. I'll see you next time. Bye.